with Josh Moser, Mike DePasquale, Donovan Campbell, and Drew Rosenhaus.
Hi, everybody. Welcome out live to a special NBA playoff edition from Atlanta. The Heat in town looking to go up 3-1 against the Hawks. The storyline coming into this game, Kyle Lowry out with injury. We'll see how the Heat do without him. And he was very active on the bench despite not being in uniform, starting point guard, really coaching his team up. Second quarter, Bam going to work on the offensive glass. Caleb Martin, no, here's Bam shining it. Heat up one. Later in the quarter, Jimmy Butler taking him over, pencil him in as Jim VP. The Heat are up 10. Final seconds of the half, it's Butler again, showing you everything. 13 in the quarter alone, Heat up 14 at the half. Third quarter, things getting heated. P.J. Tucker fouled hard, then watch him go right at Onyeka Okongwu. Double technical fouls, but we love the physicality. Heat kept coming. Then later in the third, Victor Oladipo dribble drive. Watch him kiss this one off the glass. Heat up 17. Later in the quarter, Max Strus getting hot. Buries this from deep. 12 for Strusy. The Heat starting to run away with it. Jimmy Butler adding the exclamation point, the steal, and coast to coast, a game high 36 and 10 rebounds. Heat win 110-86, taking a 3-1 series lead.
I'm ready. We talked about what we needed to do to get this dub. Tonight was a good one, but we got another one we got to get.
We've been a special defensive team all year, so we just got to continue to make sure that's our anchor.
Tonight, everybody stay focused. We stayed with our game plan, and I love how everybody came off the bench and was super alert, super ready to go.
For more on this Heat win, we bring in the 5 Reasons Sports Network's Ethan Skolnick. Ethan, so much to unpack, but what did the Heat show you tonight that they needed to?
They just bullied Atlanta. I mean, it's really that simple. They didn't shoot the ball that well, beyond Jimmy Butler. You look at the bench, they shot about 25% from the field. Max Strus was 4 of 16. Tyler Hero hasn't been able to get his outside shot going for most of the series, but they just punked him. I mean, it's just really as simple as that. I think this series was won in the 3rd minute of game 1, where Jimmy Butler got in Trae Young's face. It just has not been the same since then. You've had Trae complaining that you don't have enough Hawks fans in Atlanta. You had Trae complaining about the way that he's being guarded by the Heat, about the officials. They're in his head. And I just don't think that you can beat an Eric Spoelstra team 4 times with one guy, particularly when that guy seems to be bothered by everything that he shouldn't be bothered by.
What are your long-term concerns with Lowry and his injured hamstring?
Well, we've heard that they're going to be careful with it, and that makes sense. I mean, it's a hamstring injury. You don't want to re-injure that. I would not expect him for game 5. I thought before even game 4 that you probably wouldn't see him the rest of this series unless it was a desperate situation. If you were in a game 7, then maybe you bring him out. Well, look, they've played pretty well this season, Josh, with Gabe Vincent as their starting point guard. And now that they can bring Victor Oladipo off the bench, they have enough guards who can handle. They have enough guards who can defend. You can overcome the loss of Kyle Lowry during games. It becomes important to have Kyle Lowry in crunch time of close games. We saw that in the game 3 loss. I don't think they're going to have that in game 5. I think they can get by without him.
Let's talk about Philadelphia. You mentioned the 76ers, like the Heat, they're up 3-1 in their series. What concerns you most about that matchup?
Well, 2 things, and it's not James Harden. I don't think James Harden can hurt the Heat at this point. I think people know my feelings about James Harden. He can't get by anybody at this stage. He's out of shape. It's pretty clear. He doesn't seem all that into it. There are 2 guys who can hurt Miami. One is obviously Joel Embiid. Some can argue that he's the MVP of the league this year. He's obviously playing through an injury. Miami will try to take advantage of that, I'm sure, in a very subtle way. But the other guy is Tyrese Maxey. He hurt Miami in the last game in Philadelphia. He gives them a different look. He's quicker twitch than Harden is. He's a tough guard. He's young. He's aggressive. Doesn't seem to know any better, which is a good thing in the playoffs. They will be a difficult matchup. But I think Miami has enough answers for Embiid. And again, I think they'll be able to guard Harden.
Hopefully Kyle Lowry can get as much rest as necessary to come back to be 100%. Ethan, though, really quickly, how about this Nets series down 3-0 to the Celtics? How surprised are you at what's happening there?
I guess we shouldn't have been afraid of the Nets, huh? I mean, I guess you actually need a team concept. I guess you actually need to defend. I guess you actually need some young role players. Look, the Nets are who they've been all season. I think people were waiting for this incredible breakout in the playoffs because of the names. But the way that Boston has guarded Kevin Durant, to me, the story of that series is not the Nets, it's the Celtics. The Celtics are better than they were 2 years ago when the Heat beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals. Tatum and Brown are better. Their bigs are better. That's a challenging matchup, okay? And you're probably going to see Boston-Milwaukee here in the next round without Middleton, which means Boston could get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's just put the Nets away. Let's let ESPN talk about the Nets. They're not relevant.
That's why we bring you on to talk about this Miami Heat team. This is a deep team and a very deep playoff run. Hopefully it will get stretched out. We're happy to have you along for the ride for all of it. Thanks so much, Ethan.
Thank you, Josh.
Ethan's great. So a chance for the Heat to wrap up the opening round series on Tuesday in Game 5 and tonight in Sunrise. The Cats wrapping up their regular season. And for more on that contest, we go live to our Donovan Campbell, who joins us live. Hi, everybody. Welcome back out live in Atlanta. We continue with our Heat Road playoff coverage. A big win for Miami over Atlanta tonight. They are now 1 win away from clinching the opening round playoff series. Tonight, also, the Heat playoff debut for Victor Oladipo coming into the lineup after Kyle Lowry did not play out with that hamstring injury. Oladipo playing very well in the plus-minus category, which is becoming so important in the NBA. He was plus 28. Head coach Eric Spoelstra was asked about this in the post-game press conference because while Oladipo was great on the floor, he didn't score many points.
You'll make me pull out my glasses. I don't know what you guys are looking at. I really don't. Yeah, so you guys are all just looking at the final number on the box score. That's the problem. Everything always just gets evaluated by how many points you score, how many shots you shoot. He was a plus 28.
There you go. Let's go around the NBA playoff action. Game 4, Giannis and the Bucks taking on the Bulls in Chicago. Big night from Giannis. A game-high 32 points and 17 rebounds. Bucks blowing the Bulls out again, this time 119-95, taking a commanding 3-1 series lead. Milwaukee can wrap up the series at home in Game 5 Wednesday. From the east to the west, Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets taking on Steph Curry and the Warriors. No joking around for the Joker, facing a sweep fourth quarter. Last year's MVP playing like it. Big bucket, Nuggets up 5. Then roughly 3 minutes later, the Joker finding Will Barton in the corner for the dagger 3. Jokic posting a team-high 37 points to go along with 8 boards and 6 assists. Denver survives 126-121, forcing a Game 5. Now, we will have Game 5 in Miami, a chance for the Heat to take care of the Hawks and hopefully move on. It is looking most likely like it would be Philadelphia in the next round, but they got to get that win on Tuesday. We got more to come here live in Atlanta, but for more, we go back inside the studio to our Mike DePasquale. The Mounds also... Hi, everybody. Welcome back out live to Atlanta. We continue to talk about this big Heat playoff win over the Hawks. Miami now 1 victory away from clinching their opening round playoff series. Remember, Kyle Lowry out of this game due to a hamstring injury. They needed someone to step up and fill those minutes, fill those points, and it was P.J. Tucker tonight. P.J. Tucker actually telling head coach Eric Spoelstra, give me the ball. I'm a matchup problem. We saw him connect from deep, but more importantly, we saw him use his size. Backing down Trae Young, finding those mismatches. It worked to perfection. P.J. had 14 points in the win.
You know, we talked about that coming to this game.
He yelled at me. I said, all right, that seems like a good idea.
Being able to take advantage of some matchups sometimes. So it's great to have a coach had a dialogue with. He's too good of a scorer not to make him work on defense.
I love how PJ wanted to exploit that matchup. Remember, he won a championship last year with the Bucks, so he knows what he's talking about. Hopefully, it's another deep run for the Heat this year. They're 1 win away from getting to that next round. We'll see you Tuesday, but we got more to come on the show, and we got to go back to Mike for more. Mike, it's yours.
Thank you, Josh.
It is the Heat getting a big win tonight over the Hawks in Atlanta. Game 5 will be Tuesday back in Miami, so hopefully this team will not have to come back to Atlanta this series. On behalf of Drew, Ethan, Mike, and Donovan, I'm Josh Moser, live from Atlanta. We've got a playoff edition of Lexus Sports Extra, and before we go, I have been waiting all week to do this. We are going to say peace up, 8-Town down. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back in Miami on Tuesday. Have a great rest of your night.